This is a HeadGum podcast.
This week on the program, don't even get us started about this New York geography. It's The Commuter. I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Eric Siska.
Chris Cabot.
And we hate movies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in. As always, welcome to the first quarantined edition of our fine show.
Wait a second. We're doing The Commuter on the show this week, and we can't commute? What's that about?
Dude, it's cruel irony is what it's about, my friend.
Does everybody have tinfoil up around their studios like me?
I got a tinfoil hat on my head and my testicles.
I keep newspapers on the windows just as a matter of course.
Yes.
That's Steve's interior decorating.
I don't want to get a fucking sniper after me.
Oh, and they are, dude. Absolutely they are.
I take all my safety nods from William Friedkin's Bug.
Now, would the tinfoil like reflect the sniper's laser back at him?
No.
Wait. This guy's using a laser now?
Well, the like the scope thing, and then he's like, "Oh, someone's shooting at me now."
Sure.
I will say it is tough to because it's just me and my wife and two cats in this apartment. It's hard not to feel like you're in Bug sometimes. It's just like, are we in Bug?
Dude, you know what, Steve? As long as you two don't light each other on fire over there, I think you're doing all right.
We're on day 3. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, we should say this is being recorded March the 18th, 2020 for posterity's sake.
Yeah.
We are knee deep in this global catastrophe right now.
Right.
Talking about the computer.
We're talking to our computers,
Yes,
to each
that's
other
correct.
about the commuter. Quickly up top, I want to mention there was some concern over this. We have a tour scheduled for June.
Sure.
As of now, it is on. It is
we're
on
excited.
as of now.
Mhm.
Yep. So, we will see. And then you know what? If shit continues to happen, we will figure it out from there, folks. But let's not
Right.
try to get ahead of ourselves here. But in the meantime, this is The Commuter from 2018, directed by Jaume Collet-Serra. You may remember him from a few weeks ago. We talked about his movie Orphan. This movie also is terrible. It was requested by our buddy Joel from Longdale, California. Let's hear what he had to say.
Hey guys, this is Joel from Longdale, California, and I'm calling in to request 2018's The Commuter, starring Liam Neeson. It's about him trying to figure out a mystery on a plane, or a train rather, and it's really reminded me of those mid-budget, low to mid-budget action movies of the 90s, like Steven Seagal, some of the lesser Bruce Willis stuff. And yeah, it's a stupid, goofy ride. Love the show. Thanks. Bye.
And here we go. Yeah, it's a Liam Neeson movie. This is Liam Neeson stars in The Boomer. And I can tell that he is definitely a boomer-esque older figure because the opening montage of this movie is him waking up to 10-10 wins every day.
This is insane. This is like Groundhog Day, but with Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
It is
anger rising.
cold out there, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, you're gonna see a shadow. I'll tell you that much, Punxsutawney Phil.
I'm in this diner eating whatever I want. I'm
Just put it anywhere, pal.
Morons, your bus is leaving.
I am an
immortal.
It stinks to be in this redneck Pennsylvania town because I can't find any blacks to get into fights with.
Oh man, just find me a black wandering the street at night. Liam Neeson. I literally said that.
Oh God.
I'll never get over this. No one there is no mind. Charles Xavier's machine doesn't exist. No one knows what you've fantasized about. So don't say your racist fantasies to people, and you'll be just fucking fine, you idiot.
He thought he was like being confessional. He thought he was being a good guy by saying this.
Yeah,
It's
this will
really
score me
amazing.
some points.
Wait a second. Are you from the Catholic Church or Access Tonight, the Hollywood program?
Uh-oh. You've got one of those Charles Xavier mind machines. Better come clean about the racist fantasies.
Liam Neeson was doing a novena before I interviewed him.
Yeah, Liam Neeson was picked up on the Nixon White House tapes.
There's another weird thing is speaking of the Nixon White House or the White House in general. This is a movie that came out in 2018, and part of like the news radio shit you hear is like, yeah, this or that about Hillary Clinton's campaign, and you're
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Why? What the fuck are you talking about that for?
Well, it's skipping around. I mean, it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like,
Oh, yeah. I think
like
you're
a couple years.
It's
I
all
think.
the years.
is
of-
it years?
I think it's supposed to be
weeks
years.
Or yeah, it could be a couple of years
Okay.
because it's like him and his son. And his son have this cute thing. Anyone notice who the son is? By the way, I'm looking at Eric right
no,
now.
who's this
No,
Uggo?
tell me. I didn't. And by the way, I want to
Looks
ask
familiar.
you, Steve. Now that we're not doing this at Andrews, did you print out a bunch of IMDb at home? Or?
No, that's why I'm a little off my game today. I can't sit around on a train. I can't be a commuter. I think that commuter over there is part of a fat guy podcast.
Is it
He's
up on the
looking up
cork
the
board
It's a
like
Wonderful-
True Detective?
What's that?
Is it up on the cork board like True Detective?
Yes, there's a little strings. No, this son is Toman Barath. No, is it Baratheon? It's been a while.
Oh yes, yeah.
Tormund
well,
Giantsbane?
Yes.
It depends on who you ask. You know, some people will tell you this lie that is really Tommen Lannister, right? Because
Got
of
it.
the, you know, the twins there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, he was, and he's also the fat guy in 1917, which I didn't
Oh,
realize
yeah.
at the time
Oh,
until
wow.
just
I
last
had
night.
no
I was like,
idea.
oh, that's who that guy is.
Fat
Yeah.
guy, by the way, man, throwing stones.
There's two guys in that movie.
Please.
One guy's skinny
Yeah.
and one guy is not.
You could say the plump soldier. I'll understand it.
I mean, George McKee is very thin.
Yes, and also I'm Steven Sinek reading for the plump soldier.
Yeah, you could have just said the one that looks like Ben Shapiro.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. So yeah, that's his kid. His wife is played by Elizabeth McGovern. See, of course, previous episode, A Shock to the System.
Oh wow!
yeah, she's the lady interest in that. And then, of course, she's on Downton Abbey.
Yes.
One of my favorite parts in this thing, so one of the bits he has like with his kid is like, we're reading books together because I'm a commuter on a train, so I read the book that you read in school.
I have to do all your schoolwork because I'm in a Billy Madison-esque situation. I really need to pass the third grade.
Dude,
More
the
like
best-
chlorophyll.
The best is they're reading Lord of the Flies, and he's like, what part are you at? And he goes, oh, midway through chapter 5. And he goes, oh, the part where they almost kill that kid.
Yes, I was hooting and hollering. Also, as a 60-year-old man, if it takes you more than 41 minutes to read The Lord of the Flies, you're illiterate. That book is like 49 pages in triple space.
It's good to know that I have a little over 20 years to read it that fast.
Yes, I love the part when they meet the Lord of the Flies and he gives them the magic sword. Dad, stop it. Just fucking stop, okay?
That sounds like a better book.
What are you
Oh,
talking about, dude? They fucking drop a rock on that kid. It's awesome.
Oh, the Count of Monte Cristo, a great book about that sandwich. Dad, you're not doing this, are you? No, I'm not.
Really, turkey and cheese.
I came at cosplaying for Naked Lunch. Boy, was that a mistake.
I showed up as Naked Gun and
Oh, they could.
Yes, for Halloween, I'm going as Naked Gun.
Yes, I loved all the talking mice and of Mice and Men. I thought they were wonderful characters, fantasy world like that.
That's right. I'm playing Frank Drebin in Naked Gun second, and a third or whatever, where he reads the sex book. Okay, so his purple-headed warrior.
I actually think that now that we're tossing this around, now that he's in his older days and he's such a serious actor, he'd be if we ever wanted to reboot the Naked Gun series, he'd be not so bad.
Oh, sure.
As Frank Drebin?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Like, you know, that's what Leslie Nielsen sort of
interesting.
was. He never had the race problem, but, you know.
I mean, Frank Drebin as a character kind of plays everything straight, but it seems aloof given the scenarios. So
Has
I think
Liam
he
Neeson
might
ever
be
done a
okay.
comedy, like an intentional comedy?
He's popped up in some.
He's done bits. He's not
there
a
was
big.
the-
He can't carry a comedy.
He was
Well,
funny
there's
in
a
the
few,
Lego
actually.
movie.
There was The Commuter. That's one of them.
Sure.
Nonstop, unknown.
Who did he do in the Lego movie, Steve?
He was the cop, and like he's like I don't remember. It's been a trillion years. If he was I think he's like sort of a bad guy in that movie, but it's like he's really serious, and it's very funny the way he's so serious.
Gotcha.
Fuck! I can't believe I forgot it. Schindler's List.
Oh,
Oh,
come
boy.
on!
You know, I thought it,
man.
Chris, but I knew better, man.
Man, Kevin, we're in the midst of a global catastrophe here. It's just
All right, no, I'll save the mood right now. Yeah, I'm the Lego cop. Yeah, you're blocking off in there, and I can hear it.
you're blocking off indeed. This movie also so I was complaining at the top, my little zinger at the top of the episode about the geography, which is dumb. But this
Yes.
movie's one of its biggest sins also is presupposing that New Yorkers fucking talk to complete strangers on their commutes like this.
Whew, no,
That
thank
is
you.
patently incorrect.
Yeah.
Like I'm vaguely. I mean, I commute every day to work, or I had up to a point, and I'm vaguely aware of like, oh, it's that woman. Oh, it's that guy. You know what I mean? Like remember
Sure.
faces and sort
recognize the faces.
of the patterns, but I don't say a fucking word to these
But
people,
listen,
let alone.
No.
I have a particularly unique set of skills that I could explain. That there are such a thing, and I can say this with authority because in this movie, the commute ends up being to Cold Spring, and I'm going to out myself now that I live in Cold Spring. It's a small town north of New York City, and there are like track buddies, like you hang out on the platform waiting for the train to New York, and sometimes people strike up a conversation. If you look like me, not so much, but I see plenty of people socializing. Me again, not so much. I've had like maybe 2 people get into any type of real conversation with me. And I mean, some people have said hi. If you see someone from the town, I get it. But like generally, like I don't have a commute buddy. I don't have Jonathan Banks I'm hanging out with.
I can actually back this up because I'm in Connecticut and I take MTA too. And one thing I thought was ridiculous the first time I saw this movie was like the chummy ticket checker.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That I now have a chummy like straight out of
you?
Frank Capra movie. Like,
Yeah.
See you
Oh,
there,
Mr.
Mr. Cabin.
I think there's something in place though, so you don't get too familiar with your ticket taker, where they after a while they will change their shifts. I remember
Yes.
it was like 3 months with one guy and then 3 months with another guy. I don't think they want you too familiar because then maybe they'll let someone off the fare.
Sure. Although I totally buy that. The one time though that any of this was really made an exception, I saw a story in one of those like, Metro AM or, one of the local papery type things that you get when you're like going on the train. And there was a story about a Metro North train conductor who was retiring. And the people in like one car that were like the regulars like threw him a retirement party. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. All of these people are breaking the agreement.
I could see it happening, dude. I really can.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I took the train. I've worked out of the city at the Burns for 13 years. I've off and on owned cars to drive there. But for a large portion of it, I took the train. And I didn't talk to a single fucking soul, man. I really did not.
Well, I mean, you're Westchester. Me and Chris Cabin live in Capra country, basically. Like more of a small town. Westchester still kind of feels like the city. There's that abrasiveness to the people.
God, I need it.
I will say this. I mean, like seeing the same ticket taker every day. I get talking to that person because that's like, it's a service industry thing. Like, you don't be an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? That's fine. And have a back and forth with the guy. Yeah, politeness. But like, yeah, I'm not talking. And I'm the last person, absolute last person I'm talking to is Jonathan Banks, an old guy who's just talking about how soon he is to death. Like, no thanks, dude. I'm cool.
Absolutely. Also, what is he doing going downtown every day? Like, I don't understand his thing of going from 42nd Street to 125th Street.
I'm addicted to the prostitutes, Walter. Day in and day out, I just go and meet with a sex worker.
You know, back in the
Confusingly-
day, you used to be able to just do it in Grand Central Station. You just get up against the wall and you do it. But now you need a motel room. You need to fucking buy some champagne.
Yeah,
I'm wasting money, Walter.
Walter, all you had to do was sit down at one of those shoe shine spots. Someone will give you a ball shine soon enough. By the way, confusingly enough, his name in this is Walt.
Yes.
So it's like,
Oh, that's
catch
Jonathan
that.
Banks' name?
yeah.
Did not notice that at all.
Oh, it's fun hanging out with you, Walt. Could you shut the fuck up, please?
Exactly.
I'm trying to read. It's taken me an hour to read the Lord of the Flies over here. I'm getting made fun of on podcasts, and it's because you're distracting me.
So this is the second time I've seen this film, and the first time I did think his commute was to 125th Street, which would make no sense. But in this scene, he says that he's going to get out for a beer or go to a bar somewhere.
See, I noticed that too, and I love this because it's like, oh man, Walter, I fucking went 3 stops on this train, and now I gotta get off and have a fucking beer already.
Exactly. I mean, like that's a problem, and you spent like $20. You know, those long commutes are not cheap. You know, per ride. So you're spending $20. And you're like, I can't make it, Walter.
Correct. Unless you have a monthly pass, which costs like $300 to $400 a month, and you can ride the train all you want. You flash it. You can get on and off wherever, but into your zone.
Yes,
But conceivably he could have spent $20 to go a few blocks in the city if he bought like a single ticket.
But also, by the
Right.
way, you can drink on those trains. It's Shangri-La on the Metro North, you guys.
it is kind of lawless with regard to alcohol. Absolutely. I'm also pissed off. Not one single joke about the quiet car in this movie, which leads me to believe the person who wrote it is not actually familiar with New York commuting.
Not at all.
Was that the one where the AC was out?
Oh, was it the quiet car that was
That might have
broken?
been-
Maybe.
yeah, that
Oh,
might
it
have
could
been
be.
that.
No, but it should have been a thing, where like Liam Neeson like kills a guy and he's like, "I said this was the quiet car,"
Yeah.
which
Now
was my
he's
fucking
quiet.
fantasy.
You know what? We're gonna keep going, but my cat's about to jump into the cabinet, so that's gotta have to stop.
Well, see, this is the thing. This
Well,
is
close the cabinet.
this is a working from home episode, everyone. You have to
Absolutely.
bear with us.
So, in a stroke of pure hilarity, Liam Neeson is callously fired from his job of 10 years as an insurance salesman.
Yes.
He says he has 2 mortgages, by the way, which is like, why? What do you
I
have? 2
took
houses?
a bath in 2008. No, I think a second mortgage on the house because it just got fucked up.
Yes,
Gotcha.
I believe that's what the deal is
I
there.
thought
And-
it was like, oh no, I'm gonna lose my cabin in the woods. That's where I keep my merman.
How else am I supposed to support my second family?
Oh, man.
Exactly.
That would be
I'm
an
gonna
awesome
commute to
term.
my second family.
I've got one family in Tarrytown where I live and another in Cold Spring.
Dude, all right, let's just get to that really quickly before we go any further. Every single person in this movie mispronounces the name of that town. The accentuation is on the word cold, not the word spring. It's Cold Spring.
Yeah.
Everyone in this movie is Cold Spring. Hey, we're going to Cold Spring. We're going to Cold Spring. Driving me fucking up the wall, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you there had to be at least one person on the crew of this film that had to be familiar with the area and had to, should have taken it upon themselves to be like, hey, Jaume, Mr. Collet-Serra, sorry, it's Cold Spring, not Cold Spring.
All right, I'll take it again. Are you going to Cold Spring? You know where Eric Siska has a meager apartment.
You know what? Just go back to the first thing you were saying. Go back to the first one. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's so weird. I see one fat guy with all these IMDb pages, but I'm going to another fat guy's house.
Some type of fat conspiracy.
I do like that they in this one movie for some reason they're like, you know what, dude, just be Irish. They're like, because they say it in the
Yes.
beginning, it's like, ever since I came over from Ireland, I'm like, fucking thank God.
And you know what, dude? Right there, it's like everybody can let their guard down. This movie can breathe a little bit. His
Exactly.
fucking weird voice makes sense finally. I'm John Thompson, and I was born in the middle of Kentucky. Like, it's so dumb. And that
Yeah.
movie, what the fuck was that movie we did years ago with him and Swayze? Next of Kin? Yes, I'm just from this holler. Yeah.
Maybe they fucking self-isolate there.
Yes, I'm from the south side of Chicago.
So he gets fucking fired and he's given some severance. And this is a whole thing where like his kids go to college. They got 2 mortgages on the house. They're living hand to mouth kind of a thing. He goes to a bar and meets with Patrick Wilson playing Alex Murphy. Hilarious.
I got so excited. So excited.
You wanna
Secret
talk about-
RoboCop movie.
You're gonna become RoboCop. Yeah, I mean, like if you are like doing a script like this, somebody on some team needs to be like, this is the name of. We can't. He's RoboCop.
It's got to be that same guy that knew how to pronounce Cold Spring.
Exactly.
Also, fucking Patrick Wilson would be a great RoboCop.
That is a great call, Chris Cabin. Fuck.
He's got a good lower third of his face. Actually,
Yep.
that's what you want.
Perfect.
Yes, he needs the jaw. You're totally right. And actually, that mouth, too. Not too shabby.
Not too
You
bad.
know what? I would also, I would take Liam Neeson as a Clarence Boddicker.
Oh yeah, man.
Fuck. Bitches leave.
Him as a bad guy, I really want to see that.
You think you could fly, Bobby?
Well, he's kind
Hey,
of a bad
Cabin,
guy
you want to
with
see
widows.
Liam Neeson as a bad guy, man? Let me point you back to that press junket he was doing.
Well, sure.
What a villain.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, he's a bad guy in Widows, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't like ham it up. I want
No,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
hammy.
Yeah, I want him twirling a non-existent mustache.
Also in this scene, Sam Neill, who says, "Liam, freeze!"
Yes, Sam Neill as he's like a police captain who they both kind of hate. I wrote in my notes Sam Neill as Captain Scumbag.
Well, he's Captain Red Herring because
Yes.
because when you see Patrick Wilson, immediately, like, if you're me, I'm like, oh, so he's a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so he's a bad guy. He's like, oh, my old friend Patrick Wilson. It's like, well, he's the bad guy. He's gonna betray you.
Yeah.
And then I guess the idea is they bring in Sam Neill to sort of take some heat off of Patrick Wilson there,
Yes.
narratively.
Yeah, they definitely do because like he comes over, they're all at the bar and he's like, oh, Patrick Wilson, I need to talk to you about something, blah, blah, blah. And then like Patrick Wilson talks shit about him, says like, oh yeah, they already made him a captain, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, he's trying to throw some heat that way, definitely.
Yeah, it all depends on whether you're a Possession fan or an Aquaman fan.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about him in Aquaman.
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson?
Yeah, dude, he's like James Wan's muse, and also he's in
He's riding a seahorsey in that, right?
Oh yeah.
Vera Farmiga's in this movie, and they're like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are like the Spencer and Hepburn, the Tracy and Hepburn of mid-tier thrillers.
Absolutely true. And it's kind of crazy because they don't share a scene in this movie. They're like fake talking over the phone to one another.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's weird because I see her in a movie and I've previously seen him in this movie already. So when she comes in, I'm like, is this a paranormal thriller? I wish it was, dude. As a matter of fact, yes, you're trying to hunt down this witness to a crime, but also this train is haunted.
Yep, absolutely. Haunted Train, better movie by 1,000,000%.
Definitely.
The witness is a ghost.
Oh, fuck.
The witness threw themselves in front of a train, right?
Yeah.
And now
No,
the
out a window.
Yeah, but in my news.
Oh, sure.
And
Yes,
then
continue.
now their ghost is stuck in the train, and now Liam Neeson has to communicate with the ghost.
Oh, totally. It happened 20 years ago tonight.
Yeah.
At midnight.
On a night just like tonight. Okay, Walt, get out that Ouija board. We're going to communicate.
You got it, Walter.
Wouldn't be the first dead girl I tried talking to.
By the way, I'm addicted to sex workers.
So they get to the artificial 86th Street and Lexington station
This
for the
is where
Metro
it-
North line.
Not only that, there's 68th Street, which, by the way, they shot at Hunters Point, Queens, which
Yeah.
is a connection, I believe, it might be the subway station they're using as a green screen background, or it might be, I think there's a Long Island Railroad hub out there.
There definitely is, yeah.
And then they stop at 86th Street, and then they stop at 110th Street, and it's like, these are like local subway routes.
Yeah.
It defeats the entire purpose of a commuter train. And it drove me up the fucking wall. It's very local. I understand that.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
I love taking the commuter train, Walter. It takes me 3.5 hours to get to White Plains.
For out-of-state listeners, that's a 30-minute train ride.
But at this 86th Street station, he makes contact finally with Vera Farmiga, who's kind of been eyeing him. Like Jonathan Banks is like, hey, Walter, you get a look at that sexy broad that's watching you or what?
She's looking at you like a sex worker would. Trust me, I know.
Think you got a pro on the train, Walter.
Should probably give you a discount there, man.
And her character's name is Joanna. She introduces herself as some sort of social scientist or something.
Yeah, like he gets a seat and she sits across from him, and he's being a real pig on this train. He's got his big fucking bag. He's got a 4-seater. He's got his bag on the other side of the aisle. No way, dude.
And these motherfuckers exist in train commuting, man. They should be expelled
100%.
from trains. So she's like, hey, what kind of a person are you? And like lays out this whole thing that at first is like a hypothetical, and then you realize it's the plot of the movie.
Well, she's like, oh, well, psychology tells us there are this many personality types. I was like, ooh, you gotta cite a source here. You just can't say psychology.
Yeah, I don't know. She says, it's like 16 personality types.
Yes.
As accepted by psychology. And I'm like, all right, movie, I guess I have to take your word for it, but, I don't know.
I mean, it was just weird because I would expect her to hand me a note card with a smiley sticker on it telling me that if I want to give to her, I can give her, take this sticker and give her $1.
Right.
To Happy Dude.
So you're telling me there's only 16 types of skulls in phrenology, and I have to feel everyone going to Cold Spring.
Oh, my God. The basic layout is like, hey, there's $25K in the toilet. You can go grab that, and then you got to identify someone on this train who goes by Prin, and you have to like identify them and give them something, and they're on the train until Cold Spring.
Right. And it turns out to be like you put a tracker on them or whatever.
Oh, right. Put a tracker in their bag.
Yes, because then the conspiracy is like someone's going to show up to kill them to stop them from testifying about a murder.
Well,
yes.
the weird
of a
thing
city planner.
The thing about this, she starts it off as a hypothetical, like, what would you do to somebody you didn't know for a bunch of money? Which is like sort of, I guess you could call that like something that like is somewhat relatable, but like every second she keeps talking, it becomes less relatable and less of a hypothetical. And it's like, well, what the fuck? This is stupid.
It also becomes closer and closer to the plot of that Richard Matheson story, The Box.
Yes.
Right.
That's all I thought about. Like the whole time. I was like, this is just the box. This is for stupid.
Where's Frank Langella with that fucked up face?
Yes, please.
Is that a good movie?
It's a
It's a
better movie
great
than
movie.
this one.
I liked it also, Kevin. You used the word great, though? Is that what I just heard?
Yes, you did hear that correct.
I
Okay.
remember really liking it. And I don't know why that put I mean, I think it was just 3 strikes or 2 strikes for box office receipts why Richard Kelly's in movie jail.
But it's funny, that poor bastard, though, because one, Donnie Darko, there were no box office receipts. But it was a thing where it was like, hey, man, you didn't come up with 2 more instant cult classics. You're in movie jail.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That guy really got the shaft.
Yeah.
It's true.
I wonder if he's a famous a-hole.
That's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, so that's like the whole idea. And he goes in the bathroom, he finds the money, and basically, before we get into more of this, does everybody recall the terrible CGI shot of like, here's all the people on the train that he has to look for?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's just going back through all the cars. That was pretty dumb.
It's like a fake David Fincher shot, kind of.
Yes, definitely. But so there's a girl that gets on at 110th Street, and she's like, it's like a little like teenage girl, and she's like, hey, so Liam Neeson, did you make your decision yet? Are you in or are you out? And he's like, oh, you've made your decision or whatever. And she gives him an envelope and jumps back off the train, and the envelope is his wife's wedding ring is inside. Dun dun dun.
Well, this is after he starts fishing around in the Metro North bathroom. In the train, dude. He's on his hands and knees.
It's disgusting.
Also, though, I want to point out, I know it's a movie, everybody, but that bathroom is way cleaner than any IRL public transportation bathroom in this
You
town.
took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to jump right in and say that is not authentic.
Yeah. If you did this in an actual MTA fucking bathroom, it would be like you chose the wrong cup.
Yeah.
I think an MTA bathroom was actually how the coronavirus got started.
It would. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean,
You
to
would say.
contextualize it for people, like, it's a moving train, and I have seen toilets on these trains so full that it's just sloshing with piss and shit and starting to like spill over. And you're going to be digging for money on your hands and knees. It sounds like a great game show. This might be in Japan already.
You could get out of there looking like Bruce Campbell at the end of Evil Dead 2. You'd just be like full of like black tar.
Laughing maniacally.
I mean, I'm sure people who have commuter rails in their towns deal with similar bathroom situations, but I just feel like New York's are particularly terrible. Yeah, so
And he finds 25 grand. He's like, oh, that's a lot of dough. And it's
Yes.
25 now, but you'll get 75 if you do the job. So it's 100 grand. So it's a real amount of money.
Right. So he kind of has an encounter here with one of several shitty stock characters that they use in this movie. And it's a weird thing where, like, when he's getting on the train initially and he's walking around, like, the camera stops off at characters to let you know that they will be characters later in the movie. The most obnoxious of which is Tony. Like, just this, like, short little business guy or whatever. And, like, Liam Neeson's calling him Tony. So they're on, like, a first name fucking basis. Get out of town.
Well, he goes, hey, Tony. After they take his wife's, finds his wife's wedding ring. He's like, hey, Tony, I lost my phone. Can I use yours? And the answer is nah, dude. Also, this is a great excuse, great reason why you never talk to anybody on the fucking train. I'm not your buddy.
No
Yeah.
way, dude. I
No.
am not helping you out.
There might be a chance that this dude also lives in Tarrytown or something.
Yeah, they're like,
Oh, Sam, my neighbor in the apartment complex. I know him very well. He lets his azaleas grow a little too willy-nilly, if you ask me.
if it was me, it's like, oh, you know what? I know Sam takes the 6:15, even though it kind of makes me late for work. I take the 6:30 because I don't want to be that close to Sam all the time.
Well, that's Tony, but Sam, funny enough, Steve, is the conductor that he's buddies with.
Oh, right.
And this is the guy who's like something, 32 years on the job, la-di-da-di-da. And you're like, you'll probably be dead by the end of this movie.
Oh, for sure.
This actor is in Batman Begins and has a hilarious death in The Dark Knight. He's the Commissioner Loeb.
Oh,
Because he's got this like gruff voice. So he's got a great gruff voice, excellent gruff voice. Yeah, he gets poisoned. With the whiskey.
One thing about the rings, I was like, I'm like, it maybe just shows that maybe I'm a shitty husband. If I was sent my wife's ring, I'd be like, am I supposed to put this on? Like,
it's gonna unlock something if you put it on?
No, like, it's just a wedding band. I wouldn't be like, oh, I wouldn't just immediately be like, oh, that's my wife's wedding band.
So, Chris, you just throw it out. You wouldn't recognize your wife's band?
Yeah, I would be like, oh, am I supposed to put this? I really would be. Is this like a GPS? Am I supposed to put this on?
Wow.
I don't know why I need a second GPS.
This is why no one selects you to be in their murder conspiracies.
All right, he didn't get it. What do we do? I don't know. Do we have any of our hair? No.
All right, Mr. Cabin, when I stomp on your feet and say...
So this is Mike the Cleaner's final bow here in one of the greatest moments of this movie. So Liam Neeson sits down next to him and they're kind of like shooting the shit for a little bit. And Liam Neeson thinks he's like slyly writing out on a newspaper, like, call the police, they have my family, this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, all right, I have to do some more train inspection now. Have a good day.
Oh my God, but look how much has transpired, right? Like, so much of this movie's plot has occurred before we even get to Harlem, which is 10, 12, 13 minutes from Grand Central Terminal.
Yeah,
it's under 15, that's for certain.
And exactly. It would take you fucking 2 hours to get to Cold Spring.
Mm-hmm. Instead of the usual 80 minutes.
he does, he passes him the newspaper and he walks away. And then Jonathan Banks gets off the train and Joanna calls back. Vera Farmiga calls back and she's like, hey, man, FYI, we have eyes on you. You just got your fucking friend killed. And he's like, whatever do you mean? And, she tells him which way to look out the train. And it's Jonathan Banks, like, just waiting to cross the street and someone pushes him in front of a bus.
Man, this was so funny.
It is fucking hilarious. It really is funny.
I burst out fucking laughing.
We saw this. Eric, Eric wasn't there. I believe it was Andrew, Chris, and I. Right?
I didn't see this in theater.
I think maybe it was just the two of us, dude.
It was the two of us, and we were pretty drunk. And I remember laughing out loud in the theater, and like, kind of getting a look because everyone's like, "Oh no, that's the sweet old man." Like, come on, it's funny. His head popped open.
Absolutely, dude. I do think we got some like, are they being serious right now? A man just lost his life.
I just love that he's like muttering to himself while it's about to happen. He's like, oh, now they make you buy condoms before you see them. And they used to be able to go free willy-nilly, but...
Yeah, Walter, the last girl told her I gave her something.
I'm getting blacklisted, Walter, because of the clap.
You impregnate 6 prostitutes, all of a sudden you're the bad guy.
Yeah, Walter, I told her that giving her the clap was like an applause.
Oh, getting stink eyes at the movies for laughing at inappropriate times reminds me of Cabin. Were you there when we did the big staff screening of Snakes on a Plane? And by staff screening, I mean a bunch of people that worked at the multiplex went to a public screening of the film, and like everybody was fucking laughing at this movie. And one of the managers came in at one point and like chastised our entire row. And she's like, someone came out and we received a complaint that you're laughing during this movie, a movie in where people are losing their lives. And that's not something to laugh about. And we were like, who the fuck narked on us at fucking Snakes on a Plane?
I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
It's a serious film. It's a serious film to be taken seriously.
I'm just picturing some like Hans Moleman motherfucker. Like, why are they laughing at the movie? That man was bitten by a snake.
I came here to be frightened of snakes. It's not fun. I want to be frightened of the snakes.
These millennials, they forget what it was like back in the day when there were actual snakes on planes. And they would just attack you in the middle of a flight.
You could smoke on planes. You could snake on planes.
Don Draper selling snake repellent for planes in the 1960s.
You're there. You're alone. You're in your zone. You're closing your eyes. The last thing you want to think about when you're on your cross-country flight to do your business is whether or not you may be bitten by a snake while you're meditating. Don't you want to feel safe on a plane? Safe from snakes?
I would love it, man. I'm almost like itching. Now I haven't rewatched Mad Men. Steve, you're rewatching Mad Men.
Yeah, that's why it came up. Yeah,
I saw your tweets on that, and I was kind of getting jealous. I'm like, I want more seasons of that show.
It's kind of a it's like both tense and relaxing, and especially in the where we are right now. It's like, oh, the '60s are fun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. Back when the biggest threat against us was I don't know, I guess Cuba and smoking in the office.
Yeah, and Kennedy's gonna get it eventually.
But you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
right now,
exactly.
People listening to this have no idea what's going to happen. Although you know more than us because this is a week out or so.
That's true. So yeah, a dude, Vera Farmiga, like kind of makes some more veiled threats again, or I guess not veiled threats, whatever.
She's like, you have to do it
she's
now.
Calling him on the phone now, right on Tony's phone.
And again, I'm like, dude, my fucking minutes.
Are we still worried about phone minutes in 2018?
No, but I mean, Tony might. Who knows what plan he's got?
That's true. That phone looked kind of shitty.
Honey, sorry, that fucking Irish guy used my phone up. I can't call yous.
Oh, yeah, your best friend Irish Mike that you talk about from your commute all the time?
Yeah, he's tall, he's good looking, he's kind of creepy, but they used my phone. I was too afraid to ask for it back.
I thought he was going to beat me up, honey.
Oh, we have this little thing. He's Irish Mike. I'm Italian Tony. We're going back and forth. Go back and
It's,
forth.
it's something from the train gang. That's what we call ourselves. It's kind of like chain gang, but train.
Oh, and
I don't
also-
know. We think it's funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
and
work is like prison.
And old Walter got murdered today. Who else sees Walter get it? I'm curious because I feel like that would make everyone a little uneasy on the train.
Well, Tony has something right after it happens where he's like, hey, did you see what happened? But I don't think he actually did. Like, people down on 125th Street see it
Yes. Oh yeah, I get you. Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
because it's like in a crowd of people and you just see this dude shove him. So one of the conductors, he's asking this conductor, like, so hey there, I'm looking for a friend who's getting off at Cold Spring. And the dude's like, go fuck yourself, man. We don't keep track of, who's getting off at what stop. But he tells them about when he takes the tickets and puts the little, like, you paid piece of paper down. He has to, do a little stamp on which zone they're supposed to get off at so they know if they've ridden past their stop.
What I love about this too is like I knew that of riding the train for like a year, and he's been riding it for like 10 years.
Yeah,
He
I don't
doesn't
get it.
know
You
the
figured that
zones?
out pretty quickly.
Yeah, you ride it twice. You're like, oh, I'm in a 3 because I'm going this far, and oh, now I'm a 5 because I'm going even farther. It's like I fucking figured it out.
Exactly.
Also, by the way, the end of the line on this particular train is Cold Spring, which also makes zero sense because Cold Spring's like a super local stop.
No, they're in Beacon at the end of the movie.
Well, no, that's
Well-
only because they blow past it.
Yes. but
Oh, it is supposed to be the end of the line?
the conductor says that the train is terminating at Cold Spring, and that's the
Oh.
end of the line. I don't understand it.
That is pretty stupid.
It might as well stop at Spite and Dibble.
Yeah. There is a mention, like in Grand Central, there is an announcement of Hudson train to Poughkeepsie, and I'm like, that's more like it.
Yeah, that's the end of the line.
He
So
starts,
yeah,
he starts amassing a list of who is going to get off at this thing.
correct.
In that zone, and this is when we meet kind of our cast of rogues, which is one is this Wall Street guy who's like a total fucking flim flam straw man that I can't even deal with.
Yeah, this character is fucking obnoxious, and what's worse is that this actor looks like a 30-year-old Ralph Macchio.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was kind of throwing me.
Right.
So he tries to like interrogate him for a little bit, and the guy is basically like Liam Neeson is pretending that he's like looking to invest money or whatever, and the guy's like, "I work for the biggest hedge fund in the world. I don't deal with people like you," and blah blah blah. And I remember this specifically, Steve. Let's see if you do. I have
Yeah.
a very vivid memory. So he leaves this guy, and then he comes back, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Goldman Sachs,
Yeah.
on behalf of the American middle class, fuck you." And he gives him the finger. Steve, do you recall, as I do, definite applause in the theater?
It was embarrassing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I love it. By the way, great local joke. The Goldman Sachs asshole guy gets off at Garrison. If the people who also ride that train know. People like me know.
But I mean, like,
Harrison.
financial crisis stuff
Makes
is
total sense. It makes total sense. I love it. It's a nice realistic touch.
financial crisis stuff is fine, but it's like I don't understand like the whole like let's make Liam Neeson one of us kind of a thing. He's not one of us. He's a fucking 6.5 foot fucking Irish god. I don't know. He's
But
never
this
gonna
is-
be me.
This
And
is
also,
how-
I mean, I'm sorry, but like this movie takes place in 2018, and like, yes, fuck those people till they're nothing but dust. But like, that shit was 10 years before the release of this movie. Like when the story is set, like nobody's still telling those people to go fuck
they
themselves like
should
that.
be, maybe. Right?
Well, that's maybe this movie wants us to learn a little something.
I've been in a coma.
It's fine to fucking do it. That's fine. But like, you stop the movie dead,
Yes.
unfurl an American flag, throw confetti, and say "fuck you, Goldman Sachs." It's fucking stupid.
It's like the Spider-Man moment of the movie.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh shit, Spider-Man. Hey, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Exactly.
Actually, wait a minute. Lift up that mask real quick. Okay, yeah, he's one of us. All right, Spider-Man.
Wait a second, Spider-Man. I saw what happened. Stock Industries. Okay, fuck you.
You and those magic fucking glasses.
On behalf
Oh,
of the
man.
people who lost their lives in the incident. Fuck you.
How the fuck does Peter Parker not have those glasses destroyed at the end of that movie?
That movie's trash. I'm sorry.
Wait, are you talking about Far From Home?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
have not seen it yet.
He gets
I want
glasses
to see
that
it.
like it's these like Tony Stark invention of he can basically like hack into whatever with these glasses and violate anyone's fucking privacy
Yes.
whatsoever.
And call in drone strikes, which he does.
Oh
yeah. And then it's like the end of the movie should have been him being like, these are dangerous and destroying them. But if I'm remembering that movie correctly, and I was drunk because I was at an Alamo Draft House back when you could go see movies in theaters. It was a different time. Like the movie just ends without him destroying those.
No, he gives
right?
it back to. He's like, "Oh, you know what? I feel so bad, Mr. Stark. Here's Mr. Fury. You're part of the fucking American the American industrial complex. Why don't you have them?
Oh, that's the fucking worst
Yeah,
idea. You
you
give
know,
him fucking shield.
I don't trust. You know, you guys fucking just kill people willy nilly anyways. Why don't you take them?
Eep.
I'll just give it to the actual deep state. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea. Actual deep state. Good. Yeah, take them.
If only that was a real thing, folks.
If only.
Yeah,
Catch him in bed with the Spider-Man.
we should say actually the Wall Street guy.
Webs in that.
There
bed,
is
by
a
the way.
what do you call it? There a younger girl who's like a high school girl who he like is sitting next to, and he offends her because he's like being loud on his phone. She's trying to read, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? You know what offends me is your cheap fucking perfume because I'm from fucking Wall Street over here."
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. She's like, "Do you mind?" And he goes, "Yeah, I mind your fucking 99-cent perfume." Oh, bear market.
Oh man, now we're watching The Big Short. Yay.
And so she gets up, and that's like sort of an important thing for the end of the stupid movie.
Correct. We also then meet a pre-fame Florence Pugh, who has some dude with his fucking paws all over her, and she's not having it. And this fucking lady, another like friend on the train of Liam Neeson's, is like, huh, millennials, huh? Fuck you.
Again, like I understand this movie is for older people. I very much get it. Like we don't need to have the Golden Sacks thing and like
Hey,
the
hey.
millennials bit.
Hey, millennials! On behalf of all boomers, fuck you.
But that's what I don't get about part of this, though. I mean, aren't boomers like fine with all that Goldman Sachs stuff? There's no fucking
No,
complaining. there.
they got greased pretty hard.
Oh, I guess like their retirements and
yeah,
whatnot.
oh yeah, totally, man.
But yet they keep like voting for the people who continue to fuck them, though.
Well, when you get misinformation, you're gonna do some bad ideas.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess so. Yeah, so Florence Pugh's whole crime is that her boyfriend, like Liam Neeson, fucking follows this girl on the train. He's like, "Give me your bag." "Oh no, give me that bag." And all these fake IDs fall out.
Well, because he's like going up to everyone like a cop. He's like, "Can I look on your bag?" She's like, "Absolutely not." He's like, "But why not?"
And the thing is, he used to be a cop.
Yeah,
At
so yeah,
this-
we should
yeah,
say that. That's
like,
fair
and then
point.
he went to this insurance salesman job. I mean, he should have known this was a dumb move, but I guess he wanted to make more money? Question mark. But
No,
like,
I think they say something of, well, I guess maybe it is a money thing because Patrick Wilson's like, you gave it all up for the family.
yeah. So that's why I think it's, or maybe the threat of not being murdered. I
yeah,
guess
that's
is
also
part of it.
possible.
Probably a little bit of that as someone who grew up wondering if his father was going to come home from work every night.
Right,
I can
yeah.
understand that.
So, but
Um,
like, what I'm
yeah.
trying to get at is like, just impersonate a police officer, dude. Just say you're a detective. with the
Yeah,
NYPD.
exactly.
You've been there before. You can have that cadence or whatever because you've actually worked that job.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't be like, "Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. Would you mind? Oh, please, pardon me."
He guilts this poor conductor guy into searching random people's bags, and he doesn't want to do it, but then he does it, and everyone's freaking out and yelling at him, and he's like, "Oh, it's a random security check, ma'am."
Which I also don't think conductors can do either. I think the
No.
cops
Yeah.
need to. The conductor can't search your bag. Like, you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
think
Like,
so.
I've never seen that happen. No.
because there's this other woman who's a nurse, and he's like, "Excuse me, miss. There's been a complaint. Can I search your bag?" He's like, "Absolutely not, you fucking weirdo."
I've been deputized. No, you haven't.
Sorry,
ma'am,
I'm a conductor of panty inspection. Like, no way.
They were rounding up a posse, and I'm a part of it. I'm deputized now. It's a pussy posse.
Leonardo DiCaprio gave me a badge. This is fucking ridiculous though. Here in this moment, when he's trying to like wrestle away for Florence Pugh's bag or look in her bag or whatever, she fucking pepper sprays him.
Yes.
He recovers immediately from being pepper sprayed. No way.
I've built up an immunity.
It's happened to me once or thrice.
Every night when I go home, I pepper spray myself in the face.
Build up a tolerance.
It's the only way I could feel anything.
And this is when he fucking pulls a see something, say something with his conductor, and he's like, I don't know, Sam. I'm just saying. The poster's telling me if I see something, say something. So I'm saying something.
Tip from New Yorkers: say nothing.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely nothing. Say nothing and keep to your fucking self.
Just walk away.
The one time I ever did that, it was a New Year's Eve. I was walking through Time fucking Square. And this is like probably like 2000 and like call it 2007 maybe, so not that far off from 9/11, but certainly close.
Sure, but let's just pause 1 second, Steve Sadak. As a native New Yorker, especially, and a grown adult at this point in the story you're telling, what the hell are you doing in Times Square on New Year's Eve?
I was taking the train underground. I wasn't actually in it. It was like
so you were on the train, or you were in the station?
In the station,
like transferring trains.
Yeah, and there's a huge like plaza, underground plaza, practically to get from one train to another.
Gotcha.
I'm transferring. It's pretty early in the night. It's probably 5 or 6 o'clock. And I'm walking past this long hallway, and there's a bag in the middle of it, and I'm like, well, that's not okay. And when I get to the end of the long hallway, I go up to a cop, and I'm like, hey man, I just want to let you know there's a bag in the middle of the hallway there. And he looks at me like I'm a McDonald's customer that said my burger was too cold. He's like, yeah, I'll get to it.
Man.
Yeah, sure, pal.
Hey, buddy, you know what, buddy? Thank you, but mind your fucking business, okay? Mind your fucking business, okay?
Nobody likes a rat, sir. What? Nothing. Just have a good night. Happy New Year.
I am here to serve you. Definitely, sir. Thank you.
You Italian? Yes, sir. Not enough. Get the fuck out of here.
Excuse me, officer. A plane's about to hit that tower. You ain't seen nothing. You didn't see nothing. Get out of here.
This is around where he gets in a fight with this dude who he thinks is this Prin character. And he's like, Prin? And the guy goes, what did you say? And they just get this huge fight.
I mean, the payoff is terrible on the Prin thing anyway. But Prin is such a dumb thing to say throughout this entire movie. It sounds alien-like, and it just it doesn't roll off the tongue in a cool way.
Well,
it's awkward. It's still.
I have a theory on that because you said alien-like, and spoiler alert: at the end of the movie, the one girl that ends up being Prin kind of just like blankly stares and can't communicate. So maybe she is an alien.
Oh,
that's something.
He's an alien.
This is in the Cocoon universe.
It is. The
if she was a ghost or an alien, better movie either way.
Absolutely. After this fight, it's kind of great because they're like, hey, Liam Neeson, this is a commuter train. Why are you sweating and bleeding?
Well, there are so many times when I know different cars, you can't hear stuff, but he's throwing this guy around into stuff. You know what I mean? Like he's bleeding. Yeah. It's like
they're fighting in between the cars too.
Eventually in this movie, people start shooting guns throughout this train, and a car like up, everyone's just sitting there like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't hear a thing.
And this is the greatest line. He's like, scumbag tried to steal me wallet.
That wasn't the wallet, Inspector.
And he fights this guy, and then later he goes to look for this guy, and he's dead. He's under the train thing, and his phone is ringing, and it's Vera Farmiga again being like, you caused his death because you identified the wrong man, because he thinks it's him. His whole thing is he's supposed to put a GPS on the bag of the person he thinks it is, and in this scuffle, he puts a GPS on this dude's bag. He's like, well, that settles that. And then this guy winds up dead, and Vera Farmiga's like, well, you did the wrong thing. And I'm like, Vera Farmiga, this is a bad plan. Yes. Clearly, I don't know, the whole thing is you're supposed to blame this, you're the villain anyway, but this is not a great plan. And also, you don't need two people. You have an assassin. Figure it the fuck out.
Well, just get the assassin to do all the investigative work as well.
That's the thing. It's the assassin. There is an assassin on the train. And this is the first, he was paid for one kill. There has to be some she must be contacting to be like, oh, look, I know we fucked up the first one. No, but there has to be a second one. This is not the right guy. And he's got to he's got to benefit from that. He's got to get like $200,000.
It would have been cool if you knew in the movie who this assassin was early on, and then like you're seeing his conversations with her also.
Yeah.
That'd be something. And I mean, like, also the other thing too is like the guy who kills Jonathan Banks, like, was just, I don't think he follows him off the train. I think he was waiting there. So I'm thinking, like, does she have an army of other assassins at every stop in case she needs to prove a point?
I think this is part of the John Wick-averse.
Yes, got it.
Everyone's a hitman.
Fuck. Well, it could be a thing where she's like, Liam Neeson could, try to get off the train at any moment. Maybe we need to have somebody like,
on there kind of a thing.
Yeah, like at the stations just to monitor stuff. I mean,
so but that, now we're talking about 50 guys now. This is an expensive operation.
Well, absolutely, but I mean, at the end of the day, dude, spoiler alert, we're trying to cover up for dirty cops, and when you're trying to cover up for dirty cops, that money is fucking endless.
You know what? Let's get to a little bit to the end here. Not the end, but just like the idea is this is to cover up the murder of a city planner.
So
all right.
This city planner who had like info on something, money going missing.
It is so insanely vague. Like at the end of the movie, there's like some newsreel clips all put together to make no coherent sense. But it's like, oh, there's collusion and there's corruption. And it's like, I guess there was money in local politics that was being misappropriated.
Yeah. So then this cop, spoiler alert, Patrick Wilson, dropped this kid 35 stories out of a window, and they're trying to make it look like a suicide. However, there is a witness who saw that it was a murder, and that is this Prin character, and they're trying, Vera Farmiga's people need this assassin to kill Prin so that the only witness to the crime is snuffed out.
And they have to kill her before she gets to kill the witness before they get to Cold Spring, because at Cold Spring, and this is one of those things you can't do in this movie, if you're doing the train movie where it's like who's on what train and what's going to happen and blah, 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 you cannot just cut to two random FBI agents at Cold Spring being like, can't wait for the witness to get here.
It is
you got it.
Dude, they have two scenes. One is that, and then the other is like, oh, hey, I'm Agent Garcia. Let's talk. One of these dudes, by the way, I just want to point out, I don't know. I mean, I don't think either of these FBI agents have names in this movie per se. I think it's like FBI one, or actually
one of them does have
one of them is
Agent Garcia. And it's Agent Garcia is who I'm thinking of, is the actor Kingsley Ben-Adir. He is the guy who plays Mac on that new High Fidelity show on Hulu.
Okay.
Fucking solid recommend.
People love that
show. We just started it the other night. Zoe Kravitz is fucking awesome in it. Solid supporting cast. Total surprise. Big recommend. Just in this time of quarantine, my friends.
We
if
need
you're
those
looking
things
for something to watch, So yeah, that's the whole thing. So these dudes are just like standing there waiting for this train to come in. And also, the other thing is, when this train is supposed to get in, just show up around that time.
Or like, can someone get a fucking cab or a fucking police escort to drive this witness up? It's like, look, all right, we want to make sure, because the idea at the end is like, well, listen, it's too hot to be in the city right now. You got to get to Cold Spring. Like, why don't you get this agent in a car, pick her up at Grand Central, and let's drive to Cold Spring together.
Budget cuts. We can't afford gas. So when you get on the train, just, I don't know, make up a how about Prin? That no one else is Prin. If someone asks you your name, say Prin.
Well, similarly with the fucking Goldman Sachs guy, because I believe the conversation you wind up realizing that he's having is something with his mother, and he has some line with like, you got me out here in the middle of nowhere and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, rich dude, car service, man. If you're so pissed off about like slumming it,
that's not how you save. You're going to save some money, and you gotta use public transit.
Good point by Chris. That's why he's a rich man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? Just he's a hard worker too.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he
pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
He doesn't spend $8 on coffee, Andrew.
Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing.
Hey, millennials, fuck you.
Yeah, you millennials, you're using a car service. Don't use an Uber. Just walk in the streets and also maybe fantasize about killing a black man.
Oh, wait. Uber black isn't what I thought it was at all.
Oh,
Cancel request. Cancel request.
Oh my lord!
Now I picture him requesting Uber pool and walking outside in his swim trunks.
I'm ready to go swimming in my Uber pool.
Oh no! You know what really freaks me out is that Uber Eats. Who wants to get eaten by Uber? What a fucking weirdo you'd have to be.
The car eats you.
Oh, great. Uber XL. Now some fat guy's going to be driving me around.
Or maybe, just maybe, it'll be Magic Mike.
Guy's got a real hog.
Show me that ding dong.
Here's a successful sequence of this movie where he is stuck under the train for a little bit.
Sure.
I was having some fun with this. Why the hell not?
Yeah, it was, it's a fun moment of suspense. It's kind of crazy, too, because, he's like, okay, so this guy's dead. He's hiding. Now the police are searching the train for specifically him because he's getting in fights with everyone on the train.
Great point.
And then he's like, "Oh no!" The cop steps on the hidden passageway to under the train, and it's locked. So he has to get out under the train. Very dangerous. Don't recommend doing this.
No, not at all. Do not try this at home.
The train starts moving, and he's kind of running his feet a little bit, and then he falls down, and he has to do all right, I'm going to roll over this giant railroad track while this razor blade is coming towards my face. Scary.
I would say don't do this in general. If you're 60 years old, maybe just die of the heart attack you would have.
I would be I'm half that age, and I would die instantly going under one of those Metro North trains of a heart attack.
This motherfucker not only gets out from the train, which he would be smashed in half, and we all know it.
Yep,
but not only does he do that, he runs at the pace of a fucking train and catches it after doing it.
Yeah.
That is a good call, Chris Kevin. There is some not great green screening here, but dude, Liam Neeson keeping pace with this fully moving train? I don't think so.
Well, in defense of that, he's such a huge guy, right? Isn't he 7 feet tall? It's like a horse.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like a horse chasing a train.
You've got galloping after this train.
You've got to be mid-stride.
If he got down on all fours and started running like that, oh man, that would be great.
He should play a centaur.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yes, it's me, Liam Neeson. I'm an animorph.
I guess a centaur would be too much like that terrible Clash of the Titans remake.
Yeah.
I thought he was some crazy crab person in that movie.
I think he's Zeus.
Just Zeus, like a god or whatever.
Oh, I'm confusing it with the Scorpion King starring The Rock.
Dude, Liam Neeson in an Animorphs movie where he's turning into all sorts of cheetahs and stuff. Better catch the train.
That would be pretty badass, dude. Also, if in this movie it was like a surprise Animorphs movie.
Yeah, of course.
And he's like, I haven't used this ancient power in far too long.
Better turn into an eagle real quick.
Now, that's a question. What was the deal with Animorphs, Steve? Did you have one animal that you could turn into, or could you turn into several?
Sadly, you're asking the wrong guy. Not an Animorph guy.
I don't know either, but I think the covers of those books always showed someone turning into one thing.
Yeah. So you got to pick or choose, or maybe you're born and you're gonna turn into an ostrich.
Well, I remember
an ostrich.
Or maybe fucking Liam Neeson's the god of Animorphs, or he's the one. It's like a Shazam or something.
Oh.
And he's the guy in the cave assigning Animorphs, and he can do everything.
Well, wait. But I remember Ben Stiller turns into a lion. David Schwimmer turns into a giraffe.
You're thinking of Madagascar, Chris.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's animated, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Animated, not
sorry,
Animorph.
Yeah, I thought it was reality. I'm sorry.
But also, it's almost as animated as your personality, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
The other thing about this train sequence, the on-off train thing, is because he's on the phone with Vera Farmiga, and she's like, "Listen, this is your mess. You've got to clean it up. Blah blah. And by the way, you can't leave the train because this is trying to be like a speed situation where we're there's really clear rules, and it's a oh my god, you can't stop the train kind of a thing."
And someone's on the phone with you, by the way. Good call.
The rules are never that clear, and they kind of always change, and it doesn't make a ton of sense, so it's kind of a waste of time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's to keep this movie in any kind of forward motion.
Sure.
Hi, Joanna. Hi, Kimberly. You remember we met at the meeting the other day? Look, I saw your budget, and you're spending $200 billion on goons. Could we instead hire somebody to make it look like she committed suicide, like her cousin? No, we can't do that. Oh, stupid me. Sorry.
You know, we're not goonionaires over here.
So we killed the head of the 5 families in Brooklyn, just an FYI. That cost us $200,000. It was a really good hit, man. For this city planner, we're up to $2 million. So let's maybe think about this a little bit better. Just thinking about it.
Also, Patrick Wilson, I don't know, man. Why don't you first try bribing this kid?
Yeah, I mean, when this whole thing gets revealed, you're like, that's what this movie was? A city planner? Okay.
Dude, this movie ends with me going, hey, wait a second.
Exactly, in a big bad way. He's moving around now.
He loses all of his money when he's getting back in the train.
Yes.
This hilarious thing. His bag gets stuck on something and he pulls it and the bag rips open and all of this money goes flying into the air.
And I was watching it pretty intently last night because he was like, he's doing all this crazy shit to get on and off the train. I'm like, what does he give a shit about his messenger bag for? And then and I guess you're supposed to remember the money's in there, and then the money flies out, and I was laughing.
Well, the funniest little button on the whole thing is he grabs a single $100 bill. It's the only thing that's left, which he then goes back into the train and starts like playing poker with these guys.
Everybody's moved to the back of the train.
That's right. He does something where he kills the AC on all the other cars because he's a fucking train genius all of a sudden.
Exactly. Like, come on, man. How the fuck do you know
By
how
the way,
to do that?
There have been instances in the summer where AC is out, and there have been times that I just stay in a hot car because I don't want to be around all these fucking people.
Absolutely.
Totally, dude. I've sat in many a hot car in my day.
Hot
Smelly
boxes.
cars, though, no way.
Oh yeah,
those
well,
are
but that's
tough.
the thing is you see an empty car and you're like, ooh, bonus, might be a hot car, might be a smelly car.
Right?
See, empty car on the subway, definitely thinking about smells.
Yes.
Right.
Metro North, though, it's harder to sneak on. Not as many homeless people,
Sometimes
if at all.
it's the bathrooms, though. Some of those bathrooms that is never clean, and it's just
yeah.
so much shit and piss. And then like people leave the door open to those little bathrooms, and it's just like the whole car is gone.
Eric, just because 9% of our listenership really enjoys these really deep cut Metro North queries, I want to keep that going as much as
Right,
possible.
of course.
By all means.
The tables in the cars, I don't
No.
think that's not a thing, right?
No,
Not on
they are
that's-
not a thing. There are old timers that do ride the cars that ride the train still that will regale you of a time when there was a bar car in the Metro North trains, but no longer. And I've never seen a table like that.
No,
Other than that, the color of the seats and stuff, pretty realistic.
It's actually right. Yeah.
Yeah, the
But
Amtrak's will
cabin-
have that.
Uh-huh.
The bar
Yeah.
cars, and they'll have little tables and
Right,
stuff.
'cause-
Amtrak's have
yeah.
dining cars. That's what it is for. Is a dining car.
Absolutely. But Cabin, I wanted to ask you specifically, though, because you were on, in local parlance here, the New Haven line,
Yes.
which is the commuter line that goes from Connecticut into the city. And at last I checked, which now we're talking like the early aughts when we were in college,
Mhm.
but those trains were the last bastion of the bar cars.
I mean, when I'm getting on the train, I'm sitting down and putting on my headphones and trying to forget that everybody else is there. So I'm
yes.
maybe not the one to be asking.
Is that the only way you could shoot?
Yeah.
But I do remember that those old-timey New Haven line cars, because eventually the New Haven line comes into New York and makes some stops in Westchester. So like we would sometimes get on there.
Portchester and Rye and stuff.
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
that.
and so when we were at Purchase, you would get on the train around there, and I always remember there were bar cars there. But I guess progress has eliminated
Yeah,
those also,
Well, I think people got too drunk, so I think it kind of just
which
fell
is
apart
hilarious
there.
though, dude. Because also something they have in this movie that's inaccurate is this train is going to Yankee Stadium on a game day,
Oof.
and there's very few drunken assholes around. Which, come on,
There are some people in the Yankees stuff, but the line that does go to Cold Spring does stop at Yankee Stadium when there is a game, and they
Yeah.
are quite annoying. And you're right, it doesn't encapsulate the exact feeling of heading to a stadium while you're just trying to get the fuck home.
Well, you can't really express the smell of overwhelming piss.
Yes, there's a lot of piss smell.
Yeah, my new movie, The Commuter. It's coming out in smell-o-vision.
4DX.
Yeah, I'll just piss on you in the movie theater.
You feel that light mist coming out of your seat? It's piss.
Yeah, tinkle vision.
Yeah, this is exactly like being on the MTA. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait. Oh, the movie stopped for 20 minutes for no reason. Yep, it's like being on the MTA.
Oh, you want to be like, it's like being on the MTA now in the movie. Some people are talking and laughing way too loudly. Just gabbing.
People are losing their lives in this movie. It's a serious film. Stop ye laughing at it.
So yeah, he's playing poker with Tony and this other guy who he thinks is this big suspect, who's this like huge fucking hulking Russian guy, or I don't even know what was he French?
I don't know if we have any sort of
Nationality.
radar on the ethnicity. However,
He looks like
It's
Zangief from Street Fighter.
He's enormous.
well, it's one of those things where Liam Neeson is like, look at that guy. Tattoos. Must be a villain.
Yes.
Well, that also is what led him to kill a fucking FBI agent not too long ago.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. This character does not learn from his mistakes.
And he's like, "Oh, so what are you doing? Hey, we're just playing poker. Here's a bloody $100 bill that I'm gonna throw on the table." And they're like,
dude, if you're commuting and doing like some like innocent gambling, and some guy comes in with a bloodied bill and says, "This is all I have left to my name,"
Yeah, don't
maybe
worry.
don't let him buy in.
Don't worry. It's not my blood. It's FBI blood.
Jesus, Mike, were you just in a dirt bike race? What's going on here?
No one questions how fucking filthy he is in this movie. I don't get it.
and
They saw him like 10 minutes ago, perfectly clean.
and he's harassing everyone on the train. And I'd be like, "Yo, Mike, honestly, thanks, but no thanks. We're kind of done for the day. Being
Absolutely.
train buds."
Well, maybe everyone sees him like filthy and dirty and stinking and bloody. Oh, you use the bathroom. That's just what happens when you come out of one of those things.
Oh, it
Yeah.
got you, huh? Oh, crap.
It
You
got
want some Purell?
You know, I was pretty okay. I thought I had good footing in the bathroom, and then the train took a quick turn, and oops, look at me now.
Oh, been there.
So take a look at me now. Covered in shit and piss.
So he basically lays out his entire plan loudly to these guys so the whole car can hear it. And he's like, step one, I'd kill the AC so everybody has to go into one car. I would then figure out who has to get off at Cold Spring and blah, 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 blah. And then like this dude with a guitar just gets up and leaves. And he's like, well, there's the next person I have to go follow and murder.
Well, at this point too, like they take as he's talking about it, they're trying to keep this suspense, and even though the suspense of this movie is totally gone, and they show there's like, I don't know, like 12 people left on the train, but once we get to the hostage situation coming up, there's like 70 all of a sudden.
There is a magic number of extras in this movie that
Yes.
appear out of thin fucking air, and it's a real continuity problem.
Yeah, so he goes into the next car with this guy with the guitar. He's like, "What's in your guitar case?" And he's like, "It's a guitar." And he's like, "Are you sure?"
Did you sell your soul to the devil?
This train don't stop at the crossroads, friend. And so like they kind of get into it, and yeah, eventually it turns out this dude is indeed the assassin, and they start fighting. And let me tell you something. Points for this movie, Liam Neeson hits this dude with his own guitar, and at the first sign of guitar making contact with this dude's noodle, there is definitely an amplified guitar sound like a wow.
Kabong.
I wish
Come on.
I wish he would say "kabong."
Yeah.
Time for a sticky licky solo. Here I go.
Wow. Oh, Sham, you're here. Hello. How you doing?
That'd be great. Some shitty little white kid crawls through the window.
And this is when this guy, this assassin, is fucking firing wildly, and everyone else is just reading fucking I don't even know what. Reading Jodie
Words with friends. La
reading
la la.
Jodie Picoult in the next car. Like, nice fucking try.
Yeah, you have to tell me there's like a dimensional vortex between these train cars for no one to even fucking notice this. Not even the fucking conductors.
It's fucking crazy. Because, yeah, he's like shooting out windows at this point, and then he eventually throws this man out of the train window.
Well, the weird thing is this guy.
No ticket.
I was kind of expecting a no ticket.
Yeah. It could use some one-liners. This movie kind of takes itself too seriously.
I agree. Well, also it takes 40 minutes for Liam Neeson to throw a punch in a movie. No thanks, movie.
Absolutely not. And here's how you sort of whet the appetite for that, Steve. There is some sort of and it can be quick. I will say this movie is under 2 hours. You could be a real quick prologue where it's Liam Neeson. He's on the beat with Patrick Wilson, and then like something he's injured and has to retire. But like
yeah, like a little bit.
At least that way you have some.
Well, wouldn't it be better to see him reading books with his son? Is that better?
Isn't he so relatable? Don't you do that?
Like he's like chasing down some dude that like robbed a bodega
Sure.
or whatever. They have a little bit of a fight.
I would love it if it was just like he stubbed his toe, cut. He's an insurance agent.
I have to retire, Murph. It's over for me.
Man, Liam Neeson saying Murph throughout this movie. Eep.
Or just be realistic with his whole like disbandment from the NYPD or retirement. Whatever. Just be like, I shot a kid.
Yes, exactly. Like
He had some sort of ray gun.
oh no, actually it's the NYPD. I got a raise.
I'm the commissioner now.
They told me to keep doing it.
But when he's fighting, before he fights this assassin, the assassin's like, "Who is it? You got to tell me who the person is to kill." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, we're still doing this, and also like, what an appropriate metaphor. What a way to run a railroad. You've got one guy with the gun that has to ask the other guy who to kill. Like, come on. And the other guy clearly doesn't want to do it. Like, I always love these movies where it's like, who's the best person to do a murder is someone who absolutely doesn't want to do it.
Well, yeah, and that's just like, it's the same with this assassin. It's the same thing with Patrick Wilson at the end of the movie, where they're both characters that are like, listen, man, this is far beyond you or I. The people that are running this scam, you have no idea what they're making me do, like kind of a thing. And this assassin's pulling that, and I'm like, no.
Exactly.
It is pointless. You're right. Like, just have Patrick Wilson chasing this girl and give this girl agency and something to do. And now she's looking over her shoulder, trying not to be murdered, and make it that. We don't need all these characters.
Hi.
Exactly.
Hi, Joanna. Kim again. Yeah. You remember? So the thing is, did you send 5 assassins to take his family? That's a 2-assassin job. Could you fucking tell me what you're doing here?
Listen, Joanna, we're going to need the receipts when you're back in on Monday. This is just really blowing itself out of proportion here.
And at the end, they don't even fucking accomplish that mission. The FBI apparently gets there before and arrests 3 men outside his house. So it's just like, what these goons are being so misappropriated.
Yes.
And they're bad goons. They're just fucking bad at their job.
Yeah, Joanna, last year when you asked for 200 goons under your supervision, Greg and I we fought about it, but we gave it to you. But now I think I'm going to have to bring Greg in for another meeting. We're going to have a big meeting on Monday.
Joanna, did you say we would cover his travel? We just don't do that.
You're paying for his gas money now. That's what's happening, by the way.
Yeah, welcome to Discount Goons. We sometimes get the job done, but to be completely honest with you, sometimes we will grossly fuck it up.
Yep, that's what we're based in Gotham City.
They all garish names like you would imagine. This is an obliterator. This is a tough, a classic tough. This is a knifey.
The obliterators are extra expensive, I think. But this shows you these fucking goons, man, like the mafia. They know what they're doing.
Exactly.
They get it done. This has been a pro-mafia show since inception. And it's like, why? Stay out of the crime racket, amateurs.
Exactly. You know who's fucking finding this girl and murdering her immediately? The mafia.
Exactly. They're great at killing witnesses. That's one of their strengths. It's never like, oh shit, we gotta find that witness. Let's get some fucking Irish fucking cop on a train that doesn't want to kill her to do it. Like, no, actually, let's get fucking Vito that killed 4 people last week to do it because he's really fucking good at it.
Yeah,
the mafia has never sat down to have a planning meeting in where they're like, all right, Johnny, finally, we're gonna let you execute your elaborate plan to kill this witness.
I guess they're trying to do like a North by Northwest type of thing in this movie.
Look, I can get you 10 snipers for like $500, but they can't aim.
Well, the other thing too is they never reveal whom Joanna is working for or is. And that's sort of something you need. Is she like, all you need to do is be like, she works for the governor or something. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
is the thing right there, dude. The governor, like the next highest up in some sort of statewide scandal.
or even
you
say the
know.
mafia if that's the case or something. Like,
Yeah.
just drugs, vague drug I'll take. But city planner,
yes,
my eyes are glazing.
You have to make it something. You
Yes.
just have to. I'm sorry, folks. This is a baseline minimum. He's a city planner, and anyway, end of the movie. Bye.
There's a surprising number, and maybe Eric, again, you and Chris take the Metro North far more than I do, and Aaron has as well. I've taken my fair share. Have you ever seen quite as many train axes in on these
I've
trains? Or
never
not?
seen it.
Absolutely not. I've seen a
Never.
total of 0 train axes.
They
'Cause
definitely
there's
don't look
disappointing.
that cool.
That's part of this fight. Liam Neeson's like, well, I better use this train axe.
I guess it's supposed to be in like a fire emergency kit or something.
Right, or like
But-
break glass in case of assassin.
But it's a hatchet. It's not even a fucking axe.
Yeah.
So he finally fucking figures out that Prin is the teenage girl who's had her earbuds in this whole movie. Lucky her. And like it's now he's basically been like, okay, like I know who you are. I'm not going to kill you. We just have to figure out what's going on. And Vera Farmiga calls back and she's like, hey man, everyone's going to die. Just FYI, everybody's going to die. And so Liam Neeson in this last act of heroism is like, well, if we never get to Cold Spring, then we don't have to worry about this. And he makes this fucking conductor, this dude who's been on the job for 32 years, Sam, pull this emergency brake. But the emergency brake is rigged to the front of the train and it blows out the like engineers area. And dude, this old guy who we see here and there throughout the movie cooked up like a crispy critter.
He kind of looks delicious.
He does,
I'll
dude. He
try a
looks like
little.
some fucking Chinese barbecue, this guy.
I mean, like, if no one, the train's going to derail anyway. You always wanted to know what human flesh tastes like. And it's
Oh, you know what? This train may derail. Better resort to cannibalism while I can.
It sounds like I'm not going to eat dinner for a long time.
Hey, millennial, you want to split this fucking MTA worker with me?
I know he's not spread across avocado toast or whatever.
Why don't you pay me $30 to eat this guy? I mean, my God, millennials.
The best meat is in the ass. Just watch this.
Look at me eating ass.
The
Hey,
rumble-
millennials, I thought you liked eating ass. Well, here I am, a boomer eating ass.
It's so succulent. Come on, have a chomp.
Oh, wait, hold on. You mean you say eating ass is tonguing the asshole? No. I put it on a plate and eat it like a fucking loaf of bread.
Oh, this ass is so good. It's as good as those horse carriages in Central Park.
Oh, man, I forgot that's another dumb opinion of his.
Yeah, he's very adamant that he wants horses running around Manhattan. Which, hey, soon enough, we might be back to it.
That's true. I'm waiting for the
Fucking
fucking wolves to come out of the park, man.
Pretty soon, me and Chris are going to be splitting a fucking carriage down to your place.
We have to get capes then.
You and him are going to be riding down the road like fucking Oswald Cobblepot's parents.
Exactly.
Oh, whatever, man. So he, the explosion happens or whatever, and they're trying to separate, the engine car from, the rest of the cars so everybody can be safe and this thing can just crash. And like, he needs more help. So this Sam, the conductor, is back on the job. And this guy right here, oh man, he's got this line where he's like, I've always said it would either be the people or the trains that get me. I always knew it would be the train. And I'm like, so sir, in your storied career as a conductor for this railroad, you always knew the train would be the cause of your death.
Like, I mean, like, again, we poke fun at the police, but like, those guys really walk in and be like, hey, this might be the last day I sign up for this job, and that's a real
Yeah.
a real fear. And similarly with with firemen, and it's a brave thing to do. When you're a train conductor, you shouldn't be suiting up in the morning like, is this my last day on Earth every day?
Well, you don't understand. You see, this train was briefly part of the Uber Eats program, and I was expecting one day to be eaten and consumed by this train for sustenance.
So Uber Eats, that's why they added so many fucking local stops that make no sense.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's a massive derailment. Like they get everything kind of unhooked. This conductor is killed because the engine part of the train like flips over, and this guy just goes sky high.
I want to see
Liam Neeson gets back to safety somehow.
I want to see him bite it a little harder. It's a quick cutaway, and I'm like, I kind of want to see something go through his brain.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So they have to like dislocate the train cars, and then there's like just a random chain that flies out and connects them again. So they have to disconnect that. And then that guy goes flying up, and Liam Neeson goes flying forward and makes it into the rest of the train. He's invincible in this movie.
He is.
There is some bad fucking, like, Liam Neeson's cartoon makes it back to the train, though. The CGI is terrible.
And then he starts chewing on a carrot.
And I mean, like, guess what? Everybody's dead. Not just Liam Neeson, but like you see this from like a bird's eye view, and like, holy shit, everyone is dead. Everyone's like kind of holding on to these like tables and shit. Like, nah, son, they're dead.
You're seeing a train car. It's a huge missed opportunity. We're talking about how this movie has some previous missed opportunities for some levity or even some flat out comedy. Right here is where you need it, because there's a shot of a road with the railroad crossing, and the things are down, so people don't drive through and whatever. And then the train comes through like sideways because of the derailment. You need a gag where it's like an old couple in a car and they're waiting at the train crossing, and it's like, oh, Harold, these trains always take forever to pass by.
Yeah,
and
you
then
want
it's
that.
just broken train passes the wrong way, and then they're like, my goodness.
You want
That would
the
mean the movie would
Ghostbusters-
have some levity, and we can't have that.
You want the Ghostbusters couple? We'll take the next one.
Absolutely. There's a bear in his apartment. Like, that kind of shit. You need those kinds of
I
things.
feel like there was a joke like that in Unstoppable.
Never
Oh, is
saw
that
it.
right? I've
saw
never
it.
seen
Pretty
it.
sure.
I don't think it's stopping, honey. Was that the joke?
Yes, it is. Eric, good one.
Good.
There are people that swear by that being a great movie. What say you, Chris Cabin?
It's fine.
What?
It's fine.
It's trash. It's a trash bag, dude.
It's fine.
Oh, trash bag.
I probably should revisit all these directors' works because it's the same director, right? Nonstop.
No, that's Tony Scott, isn't it?
No, you're getting
You're thinking of
Nonstop and
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable mixed up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about Unstoppable, the Chris Pine Denzel movie,
Yep.
I believe.
that's it.
Oh, okay. So Nonstop is the Liam Neeson airplane movie.
Yes, which is
And
essentially this on a
Unstoppable.
plane.
Unstoppable was the other train movie, which I remember I saw it and I was like, this is not for me. But then people are now raving about it. So I don't know. Maybe I should go back.
In any event, so they're I don't know.
Welcome to movie 4, because like this is like
Yes.
now the train stops and everyone's like stopped, and like all of a sudden all this NYPD FYI in Beacon, that's not how that works. Like pull up. And like
all.
Sam Neill's got them surrounded, and it's a hostage situation. And also Pat Kiernan becomes really important at the end of this movie.
Pat Kiernan, local New York One news broadcaster, part of the MCU officially.
And he's just like, well, it seems like there's oh, hey there. Now I'm doing a bad Canadian accent. But like it's like, oh, there's
so is he.
the train derailed and there seems to be a hostage situation now. Like, how do you get any of this information?
Dude, not only that, he fucking straight up is like, and it would appear as if there's an ex-NYPD officer who's taken hostages. And I'm like, really, dude? Where is the information being relayed here?
All right. And now let's to what is in the paper. Okay. Well, Garfield just ate lasagna.
We now cut to Roger Clark petting a kitten. Yeah, just no one for the Roger Clark jokes, huh? All right.
No, sorry. What's that?
He's like kind of a living. He's a really nice guy, but he seems like a living joke on the New York One offices, because he always does like, he kind of looks like what's that character actor Saul Rubinek a little bit. And
Oh,
he-
is that right?
Yeah, and he gets into like silly. Anytime there's a silly story on New York One, it's Roger Clark. Just an FYI.
Oh, I don't remember that guy. The funny thing is now my cable provider does not give me New York One.
Really? I just got it up here, which is crazy.
I'm waiting, man. I hope someday Fios gives it to me so I can have that sweet, sweet New York One Zen monotone news delivery back.
Hi, Joanna. Have you turned on the television today? Before you leave, I would like you to turn on, and remember, we could have hired one motherfucking assassin, and this would have been all over. But now we've got a PR disaster the size of fucking World War II on our hands. That's fantastic.
But no, Joanna refuses famously to work with Italians.
Now everyone knows we got bad goons. Thanks.
Oh, you tried that? You don't want to try that, Sydney. They have bad goons. The goons aren't great. I tried the goons; are not great.
It's because they don't slice the garlic thin.
And so, like, it's this thing where, and like, Liam Neeson knows the score immediately. He's like, all right, there's gonna be snipers. Let's put newspaper on the windows. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And it's
sure.
like, and I mean, like, and there's still 20 minutes left of this movie, and it feels like 45. And
Yes.
it's like, this is
The
not.
third act of this movie goes on for fucking ever. And by the way,
go ahead.
They put up these newspapers, and then the NYPD, which obviously, why are they here? But they take out their sniper takes out this super scope, like we're in the fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Eraser, and we get to see like everyone's skeletons and shit with this X-ray shit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
And everyone's got this yellow thing, this yellow aura. And then Patrick Wilson, like, is like, I'll go in. I know the guy. And he's wearing like a body cam of some kind or like a little tag. So he's blue. So the guy knows who's who. It's like, what the fuck's technology is this?
Yeah, I have no clue if this is real or not. I'm leaning towards movie magic here. The girl, Sophia is her name, this Prynne, because she's reading the Scarlet Letter, Hester Prynne. Wow, does everybody get it? Even Liam Neeson is just like, ha, okay.
But even the Scarlet Letter doesn't really apply to what is even happening in the
It
book.
doesn't. It's just like the name, I
Yes.
guess. They were like, by the way, before you get on the train, we need to know what book you're going to be reading. Because that will be your code name going forward.
Ah, yes, the Scarlet Letter. I remember that. It's a lovely romantic comedy book between two people, and he writes some letters on red paper. It's a lovely story. I read it for my son's class.
Yeah, exactly. This whole fucking movie is like a shout out to Basic Lit.
8th grade mandatory biatch.
Well, even what's his face? Mike the Cleaner's got some line because Liam Neeson's reading Wuthering Heights at one point, and he's like, "Yeah, Charlotte Bronte or whatever," and he goes, "Emily."
It's right there on the front of the book. Let me tell you how books work. All right, so in the front, it's a cover. And ordinarily, if you want to know who wrote the book, you'll look right there and the information will be pretty prominently displayed.
To be honest with you, Mike, I only know that because my favorite girl was reading it.
So Patrick
Yeah.
Wilson's like, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to solve this case. And like,
Right.
and you know he's crooked immediately. And he gets on. He walks onto the train and he's like, hey Mike, we're in a real fix here, buddy. How are we gonna get out of this one? I'm like, just reveal yourself to be crooked and then the movie.
Exactly. You know how you know he's crooked, Steve? Because he's appearing again in the film.
Now I'm remembering actually when I saw this when we saw this in the theaters, we'd had a few drinks to start.
Sure.
And I very, very clearly remember like really having to piss at this point. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, Patrick Wilson. I've gotta go.
I gotta take a leak.
That'd be good for like your stand-up album name. Shut up, Patrick Wilson. I gotta go.
Also, it's weird because here is Sam Neill, this NYPD captain. They say that he's in command in this situation, which, yes, he's out of his jurisdiction, but also not for nothing. The fucking FBI is on hand.
Yes, the FBI is all over this thing.
Yeah, they're subservient to the NYPD in this, and where's the state police in all this?
Oh,
You see the state police for 2 seconds in the scene where they're in Tarrytown and he's hiding under the
Right,
train.
Yes, and I believe they're wearing the wrong color uniform. But
No, I think
anyway.
I think they're correct. It's the gray
Really?
with the purple.
I thought it was green today. But
Oh,
maybe I
maybe,
was.
I don't know.
Maybe I was greening out. Huh?
Oh, that could be. But yeah, so like we get the whole scoop, and Murph is on the scene, and he's trying to do the whole like, well, we got to get some passengers off here. He had asked him previously. This is where I was like, what the fuck did he say? Because he goes, oh, how many people? Patrick Wilson says, how many people are on the train? And Liam Neeson's like, like 15 or 20. And I was like, well, that can't be true. I think there's like 5.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you see all of these extras just booking it off this train. And I was like, where did these people come from?
Yeah, like 20 other people leave, and there's still like the 8 to 10 people we've been following. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And Patrick Wilson does this thing where he fucks up because, like, when Prin reveals herself, she tells the story about how this guy said something that there are no noble people and da-da-da-da-da. And then Patrick Wilson's like, well, Mike, there are no noble people, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
oh, right. Yeah. And so it's like, dun, 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 he's crooked. And then he's like, all right, so which one is Prin? This girl stands up and is like, oh, I'm Prin, it's me, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, in a sickening turn in this movie, they have a fucking I am Spartacus moment started up by that fucking the big tattooed guy that he's playing poker with.
yes. And he's like, no,
fuck you.
No, I am Prin. And then Florence Pugh's like, I am Prin. Can I be in a better movie now? I'm like, soon, very, very soon.
Sure, you can. Absolutely, Florence. You could be in 2 of them.
You can also do that wrestling movie.
Sure.
Yeah, so they have their Spartacus moment. And then like Liam Neeson gets in a fight with Patrick Wilson, and Patrick Wilson out of nowhere is like this masterful knifesman.
Yeah.
And he's giving him all these like quick stabs like a ninja.
And everyone's getting involved in the fight now. Like Tony gets involved. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the worst part of the I am Spartacus moment. I have to say it. Where like I was like, I am Prin, and I am Prin, and everyone gets up and does it. All the main characters except for the wacky other conductor who's like, well, I'm definitely not Prin. Let me let you know that.
Oh yeah, that's fucking bad.
And I
joke.
vaguely remember a huge laugh in the theater at the time
Wow.
with a little bit,
really?
a mild applause broke out.
God damn it.
And you guys saw this in New York.
Mhm.
Yes.
So it's like, I guess these people just never ridden the Metro North or anything.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, you get some people in this town that never leave the 5 boroughs. I don't
True.
know.
the same people that laughed at that are the same people that literally always, because this joke always kills for some reason. That M&M commercial that's in front of every movie ever, with like, this is your mission. No, this is an envelope. People fucking lose it at that line.
I've never noticed that. Really? People appreciate that M&M humor?
Yes, they do. And also, my wife is now in the audience, and I've stolen that joke from her, and she's mad at me.
Oh, Jen gets full credit for that joke. Steve, you
At
fucking
long
piece.
last, because she doesn't.
Steve
listen to the show.
Sadek, the fucking Carlos Mencia of podcasting.
Everyone knows. I'm gonna get outed.
Everyone knows people love Eminem comedy. They love Eminem babes. I mean, have you seen the green one?
Oh, dude, she's so sexy.
It's unbelievable. I can't. Whenever that comes on TV, I got to throw a brick through it.
Oh man. Have you ever tried the green M&M tab on Pornhub? It's wild.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking losers fucking bags of candy while an 8chan tab is open on their computer.
Like I said, wild.
Yeah, you want to spend a few months in containment. Just check out the green M&M tab on Pornhub.
We'll see.
Yeah, so whatever. He and Patrick Wilson get in this fight, and it turns out, whoops, Liam Neeson ripped the little blue thing off of him, and all of these snipers murder Patrick Wilson. It's kind of funny.
And then, like, everyone from the FBI just knows immediately that Liam Neeson was good the whole time, and they're like, "Don't worry, buddy. We're not even going to bring you in for questioning. It's totally cool."
Dude, they're not bringing anybody in for questioning because there's an FBI agent who's asking this girl Prin like right there about all this shit, and I'm like, get this woman to safety.
At long last, you saved the money on gas. Can you now get her to the safe house?
Like this fucking Detective Garcia or whatever, he's doing this this interrogation in the middle of a flaming train yard.
It's true, but I do think that like Liam Neeson would get the Ethel Rosenberg treatment for this.
Oh, for sure.
This is just too much, and the destruction of property.
No, it's
sure, property.
It's really easy. No, the FBI agent comes in, is like, and Mike's like, I swear I'm good. And he's like, yeah, I know. It's you and Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson is clearly fucking evil.
Yeah,
it's Patrick Wilson. You know him from Aquaman?
Have you
he's
seen the
always
movie?
the bad guy.
He's the bad guy. Yeah.
there is a kind of funny like around the horn with like sort of the more famous of the train crowd here, including like, yeah, the aforementioned like wacky train conductor is hitting on the nurse, and Liam Neeson's like, ha, young love. And then you see, dude, one of the funniest shots ever. He turns his head, he looks, and they cut to Florence Pugh dumping all of those fake IDs in a dumpster. Liam Neeson just changing lives left and right.
Yeah,
He's so proud too in that moment. He's just like, "Yep, it was all worth it."
Well, because he's like, when he has the encounter with her about it, she's like, "They're not mine. My boyfriend made me carry this bag, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Well, he's not much of a boyfriend if he's making you do schemes like this, now is he?"
He sees her dumping out all the ideas. He's like, "Ah, yes, now 200 children will have to find another way to drink liquor illegally."
I also love it's like, all right, I want to transport these 200 fake IDs. You know, it costs a lot of money to make them. Pretty illegal. Do I want to spend the $60 on the fucking Uber up to Cold Spring? No, I think what I'd like to do is put her on a fucking train where she has to go through 3 fucking checkpoints.
Seriously. And also, I don't know what this like mail order fake ID shit is. Back in the day, man, I just went to a fucking head shop down on McDougal Street, and some dude took me behind a curtain and took my photograph, and that was the end of it. What, I was the only one with a fake ID?
No,
Was it a nude photograph?
No,
I mean, maybe it was just my face, though.
I had a nude ID. That's it.
I had a brother. My brother was a couple years older than me, so I just would use old ones, and that would work like 17% of the time.
Like, ha! Stopped working out, huh?
You're significantly shorter.
Oh, right, your height is on those, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
That's a problem.
It says here you were born in 1952.
Yeah, I was wearing stilts when I got my ID taken. Yeah, that's right.
There's a garbage exchange, like, so his wife and son show up, and they're kind of like taking him home, and Sam Neill's like standing there, and he's like, "Oh, just give me a second, honey." And they kind of talk, but Sam Neill, it's just like, we miss guys like you in the department, guys that do it right. And I'm like, all right, so just like, you're missing not crooked cops. That's what you're saying?
I mean, you've seen the news, right? I mean, we are just like a fucking nest of vipers.
Oh man, and then we do get a fucking great Pat Kiernan with a potential sequel set up, because there's like this news montage again of like, all this like television news, so you hear some audio, and it's Pat Kiernan being like, also, police are trying to figure out the whereabouts of this possible Joanna while we ask, does she even exist? And you're like, man,
Nobody cares. And then speaking of nobody cares, there's a stinger scene.
Oh yeah.
It's not even a stinger
Oh,
scene.
epilogue.
It's a button. Yeah, it's an epilogue. It's Liam Neeson on another train in Chicago, and he comes up to Joanna, who's reading the Count of Monte Cristo, and he's like, I like that book. Good ending. And it's like, oh man, shut up, everybody.
Good ending, better sandwich.
And he's like, well, let me tell you something. What would you do in this situation when you're about to get arrested? And he shows her his New York City Police Department badge, which has no jurisdiction in Chicago.
Who are you, fucking Axel Foley? Like, what is happening?
Like, it's one thing if you wanted to make him like, oh, he's now part of the FBI, like make him have more of a connection with Agent Garcia or something.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or like maybe she's on the subway. You know what I mean? Like the regular subway. She just gets on.
Why did she have to be in Chicago?
Greg? Yeah, it's Kim. You are sending Joanna to Chicago office. I'm not dealing with this again, okay? I'm sorry.
I think part of it is like to scare the audience. Like, oh my God, I'm a commuter, but thank God I'm not in New York. Oh wait, what? It could even happen in Chicago or another city?
Yeah, I guess so. It's so dumb that he's just part of the NYPD. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying that doesn't really solve his money woes either, FYI.
No, well, that should have been a thing. That's the thing is like Sam Neill, you should have seen Sam Neill offer him the job right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because then it's like, all right, you're at least employed. The money stuff, you'll be able to put your kid through college and whatever.
Maybe him and Sam Neill are on a different take.
Oh yes, that's
they're like maybe with the mafia against these new upstarts, and that way he could pay his 2 mortgages.
That makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah, they're double secret corrupt.
I was only lying about being a double.
Would anybody recommend this movie?
No. I remember seeing it the first time and kind of enjoying it for a silly romp. And again, I was pretty lit up. But having to see it again, knowing where it was going and the silly beats, it's a no for me. Maybe it's worth it the first time around, but I can't distance myself from this last watch, which felt like a slog.
It's also a no from me. I mean, it's okay to like a movie. I know people do enjoy this movie, and I just feel like it's tired after seeing Liam Neeson play this basically same movie like 15 times. There's better versions of this movie with him in it.
Right.
That I can't recommend this. And also, I know, and by the way, yes, we nitpicked about New York geography, but I know this probably pisses some people off, but it's so easy to get it right. Why do it wrong? Why do it wrong? Why alienate the people who live in the areas where this takes place? The place where there's over 8 million people.
I mean, also because, not for nothing, you have the internet now. You can check this stuff. You can have someone do research when you're writing the screenplay, Chris Cabin?
It's a yes for me, actually. I think this is pretty entertaining for the most part.
Contrarian.
Yes, that's me. I'm a contrarian.
No, go on. Why do you love it?
I think it's well directed trash. I think it works up until about when the assassin fight happens. It's engaging. I mean, I actually didn't like it the first time I saw it and liked it better this time. And with the accuracy of the things, I don't give a fuck. I honestly, if the fucking subway flies, great.
If it flies,
who fucking cares? I don't give a shit.
We're in the future. I liked it better on rewatch as well, but I'm definitely not singing its praises.
I would say, Steve, I think I was in your boat the first time we saw it, which was the booze cruise that we were on. That was the boat that we were on. And yeah, sure, liquor helps with these kind of movies. I'd say it's kind of like a soft recommend. I think this is actually kind of a hangover movie.
Yeah, because
especially because it has pretty much the singular location that you're kind of dozing in and out, and you can wake up and be like, well, I guess he's still on the train or whatever. And and I think I also kind of agree with Chris a little bit in that it is kind of a decent enough mystery, trying to figure out what's going on here. Because she's on the phone, it also has a little bit of that Die Hard with a Vengeance or phone booth kind of, the terrorist is on the phone kind of thing, which keeps me engaged, even though I'd rather see Vera Farmiga doing more than just 99% voice performance.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you're looking for a better movie in Mr. Collet-Serra's filmography, I do think Orphan is a better movie. I think House of Wax is a better movie, but also as far as the Liam Neeson collabs, I remember kind of having fun with Run All Night, which they did 3 years prior to
that.
This.
That has the best cast, I think, of all of them.
Common's in that one.
Ed Harris.
Yes.
Only one I haven't seen was that one.
You got, it's Common. You got yourself some Bruce McGill.
Isn't Paul Walker in that?
No, Joel Kinnaman.
Joel Kinnaman, got it.
Joel Kinnaman, Vincent D'Onofrio, Ed Harris. So you got a little bit of a deeper bench to play with. But overall, I don't think this is that terrible.
I could see the hangover situation. I think I could co-sponsor that legislation.
There you go. And that is The Commuter from 2018, directed by Jaume Collet-Serra. Thank you so much to our good buddy Joel from California for calling this one in. And that, my friends, concludes the 2020 Listener Request Month, unless I'm mistaken.
No, that's it. That's the end of it.
That's it. That's done.
But that's
so
not
thank you so much for everybody who called in about all that. We do have some listener requested things, of course, on the Patreon, patreon.com/WeHateMovies. We had back-to-back TNG episodes requested, which was great. We got the Gummy Bears on Animation Damnation. We got Ferris Bueller on We Love
Ferris
Movies.
Bueller's
Am I
great
missing
because
anything?
it's a movie about somebody pretending to be sick, which is a nice change.
Did you say Nisa, the Ewok princess?
Oh,
yes.
right. Yes, of course.
Yes,
Could I
and
forget our super exciting friend Nisa, the Ewok princess?
Yes, on our Star Wars Side show, the Gleep Glossary, where we read about silly Star Wars characters, and you folks at home requested the Nisa Ewok princess.
And of course, not part of Listener Request Month, but this month we are indeed wrapping up our coverage of Star Trek Picard, our Making It So sideshow that we're doing. But as always, here on the main feed, the show will be continuing. We should say also, if you missed the announcement, we're doing a bonus show on the main feed for everybody while we're locked inside here and practicing responsible social distancing. Is a show called Melrose 210. Steve Sadak, this was your baby. Take it away.
Yeah, it's going to be an episode. It's going to be a twice a week release. One kind of like the Nexus, but for Melrose Place and 90210. However, it's going to be one hour or 45 minutes ish per episode, a twice a week release. That way, you got like some more stuff kind of metered out throughout the week for you to listen to as we are, so we don't turn into bug people.
That's right.
And it's just lasting until containment is over for the Northeast, right?
Yes,
exactly right. Yeah. So look forward to that coming out. Stay tuned to all of our social media for show updates, just like that. So you always want to be on top of the WHM releases. And the Prime feed will continue next Tuesday as well. Steve Sadak, what do we have going on there?
We are unlocking something from the vault. Speaking of trying to do some stuff, we are unlocking a previously patrons-only episode on Man of Steel, a very highly rated episode on that small subsect of people that are on the Patreon, which should be much larger. But now everyone gets to listen to it. It's going to be super fun. Yeah.
That was one of our first full-length episodes we did on Patreon. By the way, also the Justice League commentary. Did we mention that already?
No, that's right. Yeah. Reminding me I have to put that together. But yes, the Justice League commentary is coming out as well. So that's another thing for you to do during our containment here, of course. And yeah, we will just, we're going to take this a week at a time, gang. But as far as we're concerned with this remote recording technology, WHM is staying on the air. So next week, you're going to enjoy, and we should say this in case we don't get a chance to make a bumper though, Steve. They're going to enjoy Man of Steel. We're going to unlock the vault for that. But then next week after that, what new content will we be tossing out for people?
And I'm hoping that my cat's meows are getting picked up, which I think that they are, which is awesome. We are going to be releasing Vampires, John Carpenter's Vampires, because in April, our next next month's patron only episode, which I'll announce now. Actually, Chris Cabot, say what it is.
We're still doing the thing, right?
That is getting kept in.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes,
there
that's
it is,
the
folks.
thing.
People have wanted that episode as a We Love Movies for years.
And talk about a great movie to do for isolation-related reasons.
Exactly.
What were you saying, Chris?
It's my favorite movie to say Wimpily.
Oh boy, so we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Please enjoy the Unlocking the Vault. But until next time, when we are talking about John Carpenter's Vampires, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Eric Siska.
Chris Gavin.
Take it easy and stay healthy.
That was a HeadGum podcast.